the nightmare of every Premier League fan, the nightmare of every Champions League fan, the nightmare of every football fan has happened. Alexander Isak has joined Liverpool, and now this takes Liverpool to an entirely different level. Now Liverpool becomes the best team in the world, arguably the best team in the world. Alexander Isak to Liverpool saga continued all the way from June, and it was going on for a pretty long time. And eventually we knew it was the time. It was actually the question. It wasn't the question how or where. It was the question of when, because we all knew that Alexander Isak, he will choose Liverpool. Any other player would choose Liverpool over Newcastle because it's the bigger club. You'll obviously their PR thing. You get more sponsorships. You join up, get into, you have more you get more money, you have more advantage in a lot of ways. And obviously Alexander Isak, but there was a saga in between that where Newcastle wanted to renew his contract. They were on it. They wanted to renew his contract, but Alexander Isak refused to renew his contract, and eventually there was very much conflict, and the relationship between Newcastle and Alexander Isak collapsed suddenly. And in between there was eventually a very different kind of story from Alexander Isak on his Instagram, and then there was different story from Newcastle on their post. So there was, obviously there was a conflict between the two, and we all knew that he's not gonna stay. And that was bad. I think it was best for Newcastle to let him go, because if the player doesn't want to stay, you don't want to force him to stay. There are many players who did the same, and then their performance gradually decreased. So Alexander Isak has now moved to Liverpool, and the fees is about 150 million euros. Now, this is the British transfer record fees, which is obviously 150 million euros on one player, literally one player. Now there are two sides of this move, which I say is positive and there's negative. Now the positive is obviously you have a brilliant player. Alexander Isak for 150 million, I don't think it's too much. He is such a great player, and what he brings to the team, that fire, and that player up top can play deep, who can play up front. That is what he brings to the team. Talk about Alexander Isak. Here there is a lot of pressure on Liverpool now, because now they have signed many expensive players. Wirtz on 30 million euros, British transfer record broken by Alexander Isak. So they are at 280 million on two players, and then they signed Kirkes, Hugo Ekitike. I can name players. They were about to sign Marghi, but I think the transfer fell out last minute. But I think now, the last season when Kylian Mbappe landed Real Madrid, everybody expected Real Madrid to win La Liga, Champions League, La Liga, and this was the first season they didn't win any silverware from 1920 season. This is what it can go either very much positive. They may go on and they may win the treble. That's a ridiculous statement, but they may go on and win nothing. They're not even in the Premier League. So it's about temperament. I think they have to keep Alexander Isak under different terms. And now if I talk about my starting lineup, I think my starting lineup would be Alexander Isak alongside Hugo Ekitike. Then there will be Mo Salah, Florian Wirtz, and then in the midfield it will be Gravenberg, McAllister or Szoboszlai, and then the defense of Konate, Van Dijk, Kirkes and Robertson. So I think this team is capable of winning the Champions League. This team is capable of winning the Premier League. This team is capable of winning everything. But it's all about temperament. We'll see what's gonna happen. But फिलहाल के लिए Alexander Isak has landed. But right now it is that Alexander Isak has gone to Liverpool, and now he is a Liverpool player, and now Premier League has to get ready, Champions League has to get ready, because now this Liverpool team, it's gonna destroy every single team, and it's gonna make the road for every single team absolutely difficult.